actually hurt.
No, I think she is.
Yeah, she's hurt. She took a hard fall off there.
Okay.
Gosh, I hope she's okay.
No, she wasn't okay. She was scarred for life, Frank. Come on. Never was the same. Welcome into another edition of the DPD, the Daily Puck Drop, here on Monday, May 6th. How about it? How was everybody's weekend? Huh? Episode, what are we on? I got to look it up. I got to make sure I'm right. Episode 79. Not of just the Daily Puck Drop, but of everything, every content that we have done. We're going on 6 strong weeks here at pucksports.com. Appreciate you watching there, listening there. Also, Apple, Spotify, Amazon, wherever you find your podcast. If you're not subscribed, please go subscribe now on YouTube. Subscribe below, leave comments, like videos, like everything. But here we go. Daily Puck Drop. We do it every single day. For about 25 minutes or so, top of the morning here, and it's Monday, again, May 6th. Everyone had a fabulous weekend. Coming up on the Daily Puck Drop, what do we got today? Mariners are rolling. We've got a poll question that we're going to throw out there. We got the Bet M's under that we'll recap. Seahawks rookie minicamp. We got some NBA news and notes. Lakers trying to poach Jason Kidd. Anthony Edwards is unbelievable. And, of course, every Daily Puck Drop, hashtag DPD. We end it with, hey, what the puck? Did I mention we have a Ballard? Do we have a Ballard update? Do you want a Little League update? Let me write that down in the notes. Let's get a Ballard Little League update, okay? I'll tell you how Fisher Plumbing is doing, the Plungers. On a roll, take a little step back, but we're gearing up for the playoffs. Oh, I know what we're going to get to in Hey, What the Puck. We've got something from Chris Egan. Also, some thoughts on and I haven't finished it yet, but I can't wait to finish it tonight, is the Tom Brady roast. All right, Mariners are rolling. 6 straight series win. The only downside is their streak of those 21 straight games where their starting pitchers snapped, where they were allowing 2 earned runs or less, which is just, when you read it and you hear it on the television or on the radio, them talk about that, it's just ridiculous what they were able to put together in that streak. And MLB best, it was a 1.68 ERA. They had given up 52 walks and 198 strikeouts. And damn, Bryce Miller couldn't keep it under control and couldn't keep that streak alive. And he was rolling. He was rolling in the start, but hey, it happens. He got kind of caught up there in those last few innings that he was in the game, but he was sensational. He was great in the series. They were great in the series. Hell, they should have swept the damn Astros. They gave away Friday night's game. Their bullpen did, and their bullpen and then just some shoddy defense and some base running. It was very Little League-like on Friday there for the M's. I mean, you got the base running gaff there by Julio. You got who ran into each other? Was it Julio and Haniger running into each other? I mean, it was really, really, really bad. The base running was awful. One, hey, Manny, send Rojas from third. And then 2, it's like Julio's got to be better than that. I mean, he's got to be able to pick up the runner in front of him to see what Rojas was doing. But they are on a roll right now. As they head to Minnesota, they'll start a 4-game series. Is it 4-game series? Yeah, I got to double check on that one. 4-game series there with the Twins, 13-5 since April 15th. It's the 3rd best record in Major League Baseball. And again, easily could have been 14-4 had they just sat there and able to pick off that victory there on Friday night, which, again, they were doing the same recipe, right? Great starting pitching, had some timely hits, home runs, and for the most part were playing clean until they got late in that 7th and 8th inning. Josh Rojas, it is our poll question. It's up there at Puck2040 on Twitter. And the poll question is this: should Josh Rojas continue to hit leadoff when J.P. Crawford comes back? So Josh Rojas, first of all, needs to be playing every single day. We need to throw out, and we need to throw out the platoon now for him and just say F it. We'll just see what he can do against left-handers. It's a small sample size, and maybe he'll struggle, and maybe they'll do it, and they'll throw him out there, and he'll be terrible. And then we'll all be like, well, maybe this is why he's Josh Rojas, and maybe this is why they decided to go to a platoon. But can we just at least, just at least find out? Can we just find out if he can handle it? And if he can't handle it, so be it. What's the harm in trying? There is no harm. I don't think it's going to crush his confidence or somehow ruin him. But let's just see if Josh Rojas can handle playing every day, even when there's a left-hander up. They don't face a lot of left-handers anyways, so he pretty much is playing all the time. But this guy is on a freaking heater. I mean, since JP has gone out, which was April 23rd, he's hitting .462. His on-base percentage is .548. He's slugging .885, and he's an OPS of over 1.433. It's stupid. It's video game numbers right now for Josh Rojas. And then on top of it, great hair. Just fabulous hair. He's hitting .458 from the leadoff spot right now. And he's slugging from the leadoff spot .917. Again, these are video game makeup numbers. This is the 12-year-old kid or the 11-year-old kid that's like, I'm not going to play majors this year. I'm going to stay down in like AAA, and I'm going to dominate, because this is what this kid is doing right now. He's absolutely dominating. And it's a smaller sample size. I mean, it's not that long. It's only, a couple, 3 weeks that he's been doing this. But I do think it begs the question, once JP comes back, what do you do? It's not like, I could see the argument, no, JP gets it back no matter what, because JP Crawford was playing well before the injury, but he wasn't playing well. I mean, in the 22 games for JP, he was batting 198. His on base was 296. And his OPS was 598. So it was just 22 games, but he wasn't doing much when he was playing. Now, does he have a track record? Yeah. Is he a leader on the team? Yes. He's one of the biggest voices in that clubhouse. Do you, if you're Scott Service and the rest of the coaching staff, do you worry about, hey, if you take him out of it, you somehow sending a message? Does he take it the wrong way? Does it affect him? Does it affect the rest of the team? Now, you may be hearing that or watching that and saying, "What? Who cares?" I mean, it's all just about talent. It's all just about who's playing the best, and you put the best people up there that are doing the job right now. And I tend to agree with that. But I do think, as a manager, and I do think as an organization, a coaching staff, you do have to kind of massage that a little bit, because of his status and his role within the organization, because of he is a team leader. And if it does affect him negatively, which I don't know JP at all, but just knowing JP, I guess, from afar, I don't think it would. I think he's got a lot of professionalism in him and a lot of team leadership. I think he puts team before himself, before the individual. Not every player in any sport does that, but I think he does. So I don't think he'd be okay with it. But I also think he would say, if hitting Rojas is better for us in the leadoff spot, then okay. Why don't we just try out Rojas leading off, put JP at 2, and move Julio down to 3? Now you'd say, well, Julio's not tearing up, and you're right about that. But go vote. Puck 2040 on Twitter. Should Rojas stay in the leadoff spot when JP comes back? Right now, I just checked it a little bit ago, the voting is overwhelmingly to keep him there in the leadoff spot. Speaking of Julio, 64th right now in the American League in slugging percentage. That is remarkably bad. 64th in slugging. He's slugging .313 right now. He is sandwiched between Polanco and Garver for slugging percentage for those guys. Polanco is 62nd in the American League, and Garver is 64th. So for three big bats that you need these guys to slug, and these guys need to be driving in runs, and your primary RBI producers, those three dudes are doing nothing. Now, the frustrating part of it is like, God, man, this is kind of the same story every single year with the offense. And it feels like it's the same story every year when they bring new players over. Doesn't it feel that way? It always does. They go out and get these new guys, and it's rinse and repeat. It's Winker, it's Colton Wong. It's all these guys that they bring over for the first time, and they just cannot, for whatever reason, replicate whatever their offensive numbers were in their previous stop. And so you're seeing it again with Garver and Polanco. Now, Garver has had a home run last home stand. He had a couple of doubles there on the road trip, so maybe he gets it going a little bit. Maybe the weather warms up and he feels more comfortable. Maybe for both these guys as they go to Minnesota, that somehow kind of brings it all back for them, familiar setting, and so they kind of feel better about it. Who knows? I guess the positive side to look at it, if the glass is half full perspective with those three guys when it comes to their slugging percentage and all of them being just so bad right now, and those three guys just not driving in runs and being major RBI producers, is the fact they're in first place. That they have not, that offense, and Service is right, still has at this point has not clicked at all to its potential. And if it ever does click to its potential, which on paper it should be much better than what they are. And we talked about this, I think, with Divish on Friday. Imagine this offense if they just scored one more run a game. They wouldn't lose a game. They really wouldn't. Not with this pitching staff. Not at all. They had that, I mentioned that eighth inning gaff there on Friday. Rojas not going home. Or that was probably more Manny Adka's decision there. Julio not picking up the runner there at third. I mean, that stuff it can't happen. You can't have that stuff. That's the little things that they cannot screw up when they play games so close. But other than that, that was a good weekend of baseball. Houston's terrible. I can't believe they go out and spend all that money. They're on their bullpen there with Josh Hader, and they're 1-9 this season of one-run games as Houston. They've got more blown saves. Now that was a bad slip right there. They've got 8 blown saves. I got to slow it down when I say that one. Jeez. And just 3 saves on the season there for the Astros. So the decision to go get Hader, Presley, take him out of his role that he was comfortable in, a World Series hero, postseason hero, that obviously is backfired on them. But hey, that is their problem. Cal Raleigh had the huge hit there again yesterday as they rallied to win that one. Say it again. I'll keep repeating this until people get tired of hearing it. Not the best player on the team, but he's the most important player on the team. He handles his staff. He is a damn good defensive catcher. He doesn't hit for average, but who cares? He slugs. He hits home runs. When he gets on these rolls that he's going on right now, my God, it is a runaway train with him when he gets on a little bit of these runs, and he appears to be, hopefully he's getting back on one, but he's hitting home runs. He's hitting them from both sides, and it's just the entire package this guy brings. He's not going to be a free agent until he's 32. He's 7, but almost be about 28. I said it yesterday on Twitter. Just get him a contract, and people were right. So it's going to take 2 to tango. I mean, Scott Boras is his agent, and Scott Boras probably wants him to see free agency, but he's not going to see free agency for another 4 years. I don't think Scott Boras is going to get in the way. If Cal Raleigh tells him, hey, I want to stay here, I'd like to be here, they'll get a deal done. But I hope they get a deal done sooner rather than later. I don't want to see that guy playing another uniform. Because it's just the entire package of Cal Raleigh. A good teammate, good leader, just a guy that you want in the clubhouse. He comes through in the clutch. Like every time that guy comes up in a situation with the game on the line, it just feels like he always delivers. So whatever the market is right now, when you look, just give it to him. And maybe they have. Maybe they've been behind the scenes and they've been working with him constantly trying to get a deal done, and they just can't nail it down. And maybe he's pausing. Maybe Scott Boras is pausing. But that's a guy that you can't let walk from the organization. He's just too good. He's just too valuable in so many different departments because it's rare what he's able to do to handle the pitchers like he does. A lot of their success should be given to Cal Raleigh. His clutch factor is awesome. He's a team leader. He speaks up. He speaks his mind like he did last year. He cares. He wants to win, and he's willing to share that opinion that he wants to win. It's everything right in an athlete is Cal Raleigh. It's everything right in a baseball player. There was a little bit of a scary, I guess, news coming out of the Friday game. And we'll talk more coming up later because Mondays are Jim Duquette and Bill Kruger, our baseball guys, and we'll get their thoughts on it. And both those will be released as you're listening to this, watching this. They're released at 1 o'clock. They're probably, if you're watching it now, later, it's already released. Go check it out on all the platforms, YouTube, Apple, Spotify, pucksports.com. Go give it a listen. Go give it a watch. Is the situation with George Kirby. His right knee, I guess, has been bothering him. They went and got some tests on it. Appears to be okay. He didn't really want to go into much detail about it. I think the knee-jerk reaction was after the game that, okay, here we go again. We're pulling a guy after 88 pitches. We're trying to protect arms. But then it comes out now he's been dealing with a knee issue, and so that's why he came out. Now, I am the worst, okay, because I'm very Oliver Stone conspiracy theory guy. I'm just terrible at it. And I will just say this. Now, they would get in trouble if they made up an injury or talked about it. But maybe the players, maybe he was coy about it, and then Kirby was coy about it in the postgame because he doesn't want anybody to know that he's dealing with something because he doesn't want it to be seen, I guess, as an excuse. But in his previous 3 starts, nothing was bothering him. He had an ERA of 1 and a batting average against of 1.85. So if it's been an issue, he's dealt with it and has pitched through it and has been fine. So it would lead me to believe, how serious is it? Or was it, I don't know, a little bit of a thing, a little bit of an issue, but we're really just pulling him from the game because he reached 88 pitches and we've determined that 88 he's done because we want to protect his arm. We'll get Bill Kruger's thoughts. We'll get Jim Duquette's thoughts on it, but I just, the body language, the sound bites from Kirby afterwards, again, I read into way too much stuff on this. It just didn't sound and look right to me, but that also just could be Kirby not wanting to acknowledge that he's dealing with something. I mean, he did say, hey, it's been there, but I'm pitching through it. I don't know. But it certainly was not bothering him in the starts before. All right, again, poll question. Should Rojas stay at leadoff spot? Go to Twitter, X, and go vote when JP comes back. His numbers have been ridiculous from that leadoff spot. He's hitting 458. He's slugging 917. And again, JP Crawford, we'll find out from Divish on Wednesday when he jumps on how far away JP Crawford is from coming back. All right, Bet M's Under continues. If you're not familiar what we're doing on the Bet M's Under, I have decided that I'm going to bet on the run total in every single Mariners game this season. We started about a week ago because it was just ridiculous that they're not scoring any runs and then their pitching staff is not allowing any runs. So we decided to start betting on the under for every single game. Friday night, we covered because they scored 8 runs and the total was 8.5. Saturday, we covered. The run total was 7.5. They won 5-0. Yesterday was the first loss of the year. The total was 8.5, courtesy of the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app today. That's the lines. That's the run totals that we use, the DraftKings Sportsbook app. There you go. The run total was 8.5. 9 was obviously the final total was 5-4. M's win. So we're 3-1-1 because we had a push in there. Huh? So far, so good. Continues to be a good run. DraftKings Sportsbook, jump on board. you don't got to bet much. Just download the app. Got to be on that geofence there up at the Tulalip, the DraftKings Sportsbook app is the total that we use. All right, Seahawks rookie minicamp. I don't know. What I took away from the Seahawks rookie minicamp storylines that came out. You ready for this hard-hitting analysis? As I take a sip of coffee for all you listeners. It's a little lukewarm right now. Still looking for that coffee sponsorship, guys. Local coffee roaster. If you know someone, hit me up. Mike McDonald may play the music louder. That's about it. Okay. That's about the in-depth analysis that you're going to get on Seahawks rookie minicamp. Other than that, it's rookie minicamp. I ain't doing anything. My God. Oh, Brian Murphy looked great. I mean, sliding to his left, good get off. Jesus. Really? Let's break that down for an hour. Yeah, I don't know. They should look good. They're not going up against anybody. All right? All of Haynes should look good. They all should look good. They don't look good, that's a problem. But that was my takeaway. He may play the music louder. All right. Great. That sounds fun. Just wake me up when it's training camp and they're hitting each other and everyone's up on the berm. Jason, let's go over to the NBA. Jason Kidd's going to sign a multi-year extension to remain with the Dallas Mavericks. Mavericks move on in the playoffs. Apparently, Kidd was being courted by the LA Lakers. We still haven't heard a decision from LeBron James. Geez, I wonder what he's going to do. Is it possible he retires? Or do you think he's going to stay and come back? Is he going to be on TV again? Or are we going to do a sit-down interview? Barbershop is probably where he breaks it. I get it. I told you about this. We talked about on our Iconic Sonics podcast with George Carl. I mentioned it there. And then we briefly brought it up. Some of you are turned off the NBA. I get it. Anthony Edwards is a superstar. Is an absolute superstar. You go back and see these highlights for game 1 of the Nuggets T-Wolves where he just carried that team to victory. And he plays in Minnesota, so the average, I think, just sports fan doesn't, I mean, they know who he is, but they don't really know who he is. The guy, he gets the comp to Michael Jordan a lot. The running joke, if you don't know, in the NBA is that he's like Jordan's long-lost like love child, that Jordan had some affair with some gal, and now it's a joke. Okay, it's an urban myth. And Anthony Edwards is his kid because he plays like him, kind of looks like him, does some things like him, some moves. There is a move he has in the game against the Nuggets that is Michael Jordan-esque. That it is vintage Michael Jordan. He caught the ball. It was like late in the game. Looked like the T was going to pull away. Nuggets kind of make a little run. So they need a bucket to kind of finish it off. He gets the ball on the like mid-post, mid-block extended, probably 15 feet out. Guys, for some reason, they don't double, which I did not understand why they were not doubling him to get the ball out of his hands. They're letting him go, and he's backing down, putting his left shoulder in the defender. I can't remember who. Maybe it was Caldwell Pope that was guarding him. And he's hitting him, going left. And then he jabs left, and he hits that fadeaway, turning back to his right. Fading away, just like Jordan did about 1,015,000 times against opponents. That later Kobe stole from him, too. And it was just like Michael Jordan, the entire thing. And I watched that and go, maybe he is Jordan's kid. But the guy is just, if you are on the fence on the NBA and you need someone, you missed the Sonics, but you need someone to get you back in the game, go watch Anthony Edwards. He's everything right about a basketball player. We're just talking about like Cal Raleigh, everything right about an athlete. So is Anthony Edwards. He plays like he's the last guy on the bench that is about to get cut from the team. That's how hard he plays on both ends. He doesn't lollygag on defense like Jordan. Well, like Jordan didn't as well. I meant to say that. He busts his ass on defense and he busts his ass on offense, but he does not quit. They got a problem because they don't got anybody that can check him. No one can check him. Now you can say, well, do they really have anybody that can check Jokic? Not really, but they can throw a bunch of bodies at him. Rudy Gobert is a defensive player of the year. So they got more of a shot than Denver has in stopping Anthony Edwards. I mean, the Nuggets, I still think you're going to win the series. Overall, a better team, but God, he's beautiful to watch. All right, Fisher Plumbing update quickly. The Plungers been a little rough go. Okay, 1-3 straight. Then we've dropped it. We've dropped a couple. Tough one we dropped on Saturday against the Rug Majors team over that Roosevelt University District Greenwood team. Fabulous park over there in the Rug facility. Had a late lead, 13-9. Coughed it up there in the fifth inning. Ended up losing 14-3. One thing I would do is let's make sure everybody's on the same page on the rules, that we know there's a time limit, so we know that's the last inning. That's all I'll say on that. Okay, just so we're all on board on that. All right, Rug? Just so we're all on board. Still love you. You guys are great. Let's make sure we all know if that was the last inning or not. But hey, Fisher Plumbing's back on it. Plunger did break, so we've repaired the plunger. If you don't know, we have a golden plunger that we put on kids' heads every time they score a run. It broke, and actually, I think now since it's broke, have we won a game? I think we've won one, but we were down 9-0. We had to come back. So I think the plunger's been our strength, and it broke. We super glued it. It broke again. So maybe we'll keep super gluing the damn thing, and hopefully it stays alive. Back on the diamond on Tuesday there for Fisher Plumbing. All right, let's get to as we always wrap up what the puck here on the DPD, the Daily Puck Drop. I haven't finished the whole thing. I just started it like late last night. Because I didn't even know this was happening. And I didn't even know Netflix is starting to do like live stuff now. But the Tom Brady roast was last night. So I started watching it about 10:30 and haven't finished the whole thing. I think I'm like halfway through. It's like 3 hours long. And God, it is hilarious. I mean, they are going hard on this guy. I mean, from the get-go. I mean, and for a roast, I mean, nothing for the most part is on, like, everything is on the table. Nothing is untouchable. I mean, there's a little bit, and you're going to hear this soundbite. Just maybe this is the one thing, but Kevin Hart from the get-go just going all in on Brady and his divorce, going all in on that she's not sleeping around. Remember, she left him for the jiu-jitsu instructor. Drew Bledsoe was the first one, like the first athlete to roast. He's tanked. My God, he was completely tanked up there, drinking his double back red wine. They're taking shots at his marriage. Nikki, I don't have the soundbite, but Nikki Glazer, I think is her name, the comedian, the female comedian. She was the best one. Go watch on Netflix. She's absolutely the best one. This is one of the best soundbites. There's a couple of soundbites. You're gonna hear from Tom Brady. Jeffrey Ross, who's like the king of all these roasts. He does every single roast. He gets up there right after Kevin Hart and turned his attention to Robert Kraft. And this was the only time I think that Tom Brady, had an issue with what was being said.
The best decision their organization's ever made. Wouldn't you like a massage? Robert Kraft.
That was Brady coming up to him. And I couldn't tell if Brady was kidding or not. But he's like, don't ever fucking say that again. But I couldn't tell if he was kidding. He kind of was smiling. And I know that audio wasn't great, but he just said it was like when it was recounting the story when Brady was drafted and walked up to Robert Kraft in the hallways of the Patriots complex and said, "You're gonna be the best thing I've ever. It's the best decision you've ever made." I don't think when I was watching they ever panned to Kraft at all and got his response. But God, it was good. Brady took the stage later. I mean, again, everyone's writing jokes for him, but this was a pretty good dig at the Chiefs.
Kansas City, you say your stadium is the loudest. It helps when all your fans are 14-year-old girls.
Not bad.
And in honor of Tay-Tay, let's take a look at the Chiefs eras. Terrible for 50 years, good for 5. Shake it off.
Not bad. Not a bad one. The best one, again, was Bledsoe. Bledsoe, he's tanked. He goes all in on him about being benched, losing his job because he gets hurt. He goes hard. He goes hard on him. about the divorce and the things that he has accomplished in his life that he will never get to accomplish. One, he mentioned it. I'm celebrating my 27th wedding anniversary with my wife. You'll never be able to do that. I mean, it's really good. 3 hours long. I mean, it's a long one. Go check it out on Netflix, the Tom Brady roast. Finally, we had this on Friday. You probably didn't hear it. Chris Egan, who joins us every Friday on this as we wrap up the Daily Puck Drop, the DPD, and What the Puck. He told this great story about his father when they went on their fishing trip to Alaska, and he was getting so frustrated by the service. You know, when you're waiting to pay and then they don't walk around, or you're not getting service at all, and like they sit you down but they don't come back over for like it feels like an hour. And the dad, who's old Ed Egan, who's like in his 80s, late 80s, I believe, or mid 80s. And at this point, you don't care, right? You've just let yourself go. You'll say anything because you're old and you can get away with it. Egan was telling this story about Ed Egan on Friday's appearance.
We were at a pizza joint going fishing with my youngest son and my dad. And my dad has just got to the age now where he doesn't really care about what anybody around him thinks. So
wow, isn't that refreshing?
We weren't getting service as well. And at one point, my dad just sticks $100 up in the air. And does anybody want it? Does anybody want it? I'm willing to pay for my meal. If you want the money, here it is.
Ed Egan, absolute legend. Go check out that episode. It's one of the best ones we've done. Last Friday's appearance with Chris Egan, all brought to you by Fat Zach's Pizza. Just hold up the money. I think here's the thing with the restaurants, and I don't know if people agree with this one. You can leave a comment below. Maybe somebody that's listening or watching is in the restaurant industry. Shouldn't you get a discount if you pay in cash? Like if you pay in cash, they knock off a few bucks, or even say you don't have to tip. I mean, everything is so goddamn expensive now. Is there any way we can get a little break on something? So if you pay in cash, I think you should get a little bit of a discount. Here's one other thing for a restaurant folks that I need to answer. Because me and the vampire, we experienced this on Saturday at one of our breakfast spots that we like to go to. We're not going to name it because we're going to go back. But I'm just curious. The ruling from the peanut gallery on this one. If the restaurant, the server, okay, screws up your order, and it's not a big deal, whatever, it happens. Sometimes you screw things up. But if you screw up an order and you say, oh, that's not exactly what I ordered. Like the vampire got pancakes. He wanted pancakes, but he wanted chocolate chips and whipped cream on them. They came when they delivered them. They didn't have the chocolate chips or the whipped cream. No big deal. Hey, doesn't have it. Can we take it back and get a new order? And they were like, yeah, no problem. If you screwed it up, which happens, it's a mistake. Don't you think there should be either because, it was like 10 minutes later that it came and you're inconveniencing the person, the customer, right? Us being the customers. Shouldn't you get a knockoff in price? Maybe a few bucks off. Hey, we'll take the apple juice and the coffee off, which is like $8. First of all, why is apple juice $4? It's a glass of apple juice. How can it be $4? It cannot be that expensive. There is no way apple juice, the bottle that you bought costs $4. There's no way a glass should be $4. But shouldn't you get a discount? Like, I'm going to knock off $5 because we made you wait. Or, hey, here's a cinnamon roll. I threw on some more sausage for you. Something. We as the customer, we've got to tip. If the service is good, we've got to tip a little bit more, right? There's the expectation of that. I mean, I think the restaurant industry, I think if they screw up an order, which happens, and I wasn't even mad about it because they rectified it pretty quickly. I think you should get a little something in on the end. Throw in an extra sausage patty for the kid. How about something for the dad? Cocktail, something, anything. All right. Lastly, and then we'll wrap this up. We'll have more on this one tomorrow. So I've contacted the Seattle Parks and Recreation about something. I serve on the Ballard Baseball Little League, and I got a question for them. We've got two parks, right? Gilman Park and Ballard Community Center, which are just, for the most part, they're baseball fields. I guess they can parks. Gilman's a little bit bigger, but they are just two baseball fields with grass in the middle of them. And their sole purpose is for baseball and softball. And I asked them, hey, can we just during the season put up permanent fences? So we can put like, I don't know, advertising out there. But really the main reason is it's really cool when the kids go play softball or baseball that they think they can hit a home run or it looks like it can go over the fence. That's pretty awesome, right? And the response was, now, if you put them up, you have to take them down after every game. And we just said, well, why can't we just leave them up during the season? And then once the season's over, we'll take them down. No response. And I think the reason is because it inconveniences the guy mowing the lawn. Can't that person just get out and use a weed whacker around the fence? Is it that hard? So Seattle Parks and Rec, we're going to stay on you on this one. We're going to guilt you and we're going to pressure you into letting us keep up some permanent fences during the baseball season. And then once the season's over, we'll take them down. Come on, do it for the kids, Seattle Parks and Rec. Come on, don't be those guys. All right, that's it for the Daily Puck Drop, the DPD. Get on Mondays, Bill Kruger, Jim Duquette. Whenever you're listening to this or watching this, it may be up or it will be up later. But those two episodes, like all of our interviews, our weekly interviews, all drop at 1 o'clock. If you're just tuning in for the very first time, Jim Duquette, Bill Kruger on Mondays, John Canzano on Tuesdays, Ryan Divish, Brad Adam on Wednesdays, Mike Garofolo, Rob Staten, Seahawks Draft Blog on Thursdays, and then on Fridays again, we go with Ryan Divish and also Chris Egan. Just for those who don't know, maybe you're checking in for the very first time. But if you are checking in for the very first time, please like, subscribe to the podcast on any of those platforms that are all familiar to Apple, Spotify. Leave comments. It all helps. Like it. And then, of course, on YouTube, please leave comments below. All right, that's it. That is the Monday version here, May 6th of the Daily Puck Drop. We'll talk to you tomorrow. As always, we promise to be better.
Shirt, no shoes, no ties.
Would anybody like to smoke some pot?
Yeah.
I was born to love you. I was born to lick your face. I was born to rub you. But you were born to rub me first.
What do you need my address for?
We'd like to send out a mailer.
Mother of mercy, I don't speak Japanese!